this thing started, let's get this party started with a happy Thursday. Don't spit in the person in front of you and don't spit on me, but happy Thursday at the top of your lungs.
Happy Thursday!
Coordinated. 1, 2, 3.
Happy Thursday!
All right. I love your energy, Dan. That's great. He's all excited. Like, let's go. So with this, you've heard the saying, knowledge is power. And knowledge necessarily isn't power. Knowledge is potential. And so this is where action is actually power. When you take a look at the root word of knowledge, knowledge doesn't mean to know, it means to apply. So let's, I know that, first of all, I want to honor you for putting on your, hey, we're going to do this. And I know that there's a lot of life going on. So for the next hour, let's have a lot of fun and take some notes. Studies have shown that even if you don't ever look back at the notes again, it increases retention by up to 90%. So for you note takers, this is the place to be. So with that, chemical combat, defending your well-being. All right. So a lot of people don't know I was actually injured in middle school, and that's why I became a chiropractor. I actually wanted to be a medical doctor before that. And even to take a step back farther, my dad died from a drunk driver when I was 1.5. It really caused my family to kind of be focused on drugs and alcohol. They compensated with drugs, alcohol, and medication, which is not a good trifecta at all. One of my brothers got swallowed up by the medical profession, and I saw that firsthand, and it changed the trajectory of his life, and it was just tragic to see that. I wanted to make sure my experience of raising a family was much different than my upbringing, and so you fast forward to today, there's a reason why we don't just focus on adjusting. That is very powerful. It obviously made a difference in my life, but I also take a look at other things like nutrition and exercise and detoxification, because it all really helps. But I see too many people do the same thing that my brother did. He was looking in the wrong place or kind of the wrong sources, and he took wrong actions. And so too many times, if you think about it, too many times people start with small choices. Small, bad choices, like, oh, you know what, I'll just take some aspirin, no big deal. And that can change the trajectory of your life or someone's life, where it's those small choices. It's like, oh, I'll just stay up and watch some TV. And you get into that habit, and it can ruin relationships. It can, just those little things that kind of will become big things. That snowball effect. And so, if you've had somebody close to you lose their health, they lose everything. So that's why it's so much easier to maintain your health than to regain health. And so that's what tonight is all about, is to focus on some things that you maybe not have thought of, and maybe you've seen a lot of these things, and you're like, okay, I used to do those things, and I've kind of gotten away from it. So, our mission, the families in our practice are healthier and safer than those outside our office. And I will put this up, not just with my own family, but for my extended family, for you all. When I take a look and I go around, I've seen a lot in my 30 years of practice, and I will put my family up, my extended family up, against the rest of society. So I know I'm preaching to the choir here, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Let's take it to the next level. So, a look back. When we look back, farming has changed so much. The types and concentrations of chemicals have increased. There was a study done from 1950 to the year 2000. Hey, Dr. Joel, you made it. Awesome.
I apologize for my rude lateness.
No, not at all. I'm glad you're here. I was like, hey, you made it. But just those changes in just 1950 to 2000, the toxic chemicals have increased by more than 50 times. and so, you know, you see this, and it's like we can't help but reap the, you know, the what's happening here. And so there's just such an increase in toxins. In 1960, there were 196 million pesticides. 196 million pounds of pesticides used in the United States. 196 million pounds. Let me spit this out right. 196 million pounds of pesticides were used back in 1960. Well, that increased to 632 million pounds in 1981. So in literally 20 years' time, you know, we've gone from 196 million pounds to 632 million pounds. Well, now fast forward to as of 2017, it topped over 1 billion pounds of pesticides are used on our soils just in the United States. Not only that, they've done studies from just 1975 to 1997. The calcium levels have dropped 27%. Iron levels have dropped 37%. Vitamin A levels have dropped 21%. Vitamin C levels have dropped 30%. There's a British Food Journal study from 1930 to 1980, so over 50 years. The vegetable content, the calcium has declined 19%, iron 22%, potassium 14%. So you take a look at the trend of this, and it's like, okay, our toxins have increased. Our vitamins have decreased. That's like a recipe for disaster. Right? And there are over 100,000 chemicals that are just lurking in your basic products. Right? So where do these chemicals come from? They come from all over the place. So the EPA has found the indoor air 100 times more toxic than outdoor air. And by the way, the average American spends 90% of their life indoors. Right? So we need to do something different. And that's why also, if you want to talk to Mrs. Sherping, she'll be available after tonight. So she has a great, just some great resources as far as air and water. So I want you to talk to her about, like, okay, what do we do about this information? Okay, so that is she's a great resource. She's been here before, but it's just, we are at a point of it's getting worse and exponentially worse. There's a EWG, the Environmental Working Group study, examined cord blood to see how many toxins are passed on. So with the newborn begins their lives. 287 out of 413 toxic chemicals. So this starts from before birth, right? So while they're in the womb, an average of 200 toxins were found per baby. You know, so it's at the point where, you know, with that, 180 of them are cancer causing, 217 of them cause damage to the nervous system, and 208 cause developmental problems. So it's just, again, at a point where we're going in the wrong direction. So where are these toxins hidden?
Our product in the house.
Yeah, right? So especially when you come, and I know it can be a little overwhelming, but start somewhere. So for example, like toothpaste, like that's something that's, you know, like going in your mouth and you're digesting some of it. So like start with a healthier toothpaste. Right? That's a great place to start. But then there's other places like our pots and pans, right? The kitchen. So it's not just in the bathroom, it's in the kitchen. But just start taking a look at slowly, you know, or quickly start to replace these products with healthier products, with healthier options. Okay? And of course, these have some serious side effects on our body, right? So some of the sources: pots and pans, cosmetics, storage containers, water, shampoo and conditioner, toothpaste, cleaning products, just to name a few of kind of where these are coming from. Right? And one of the things is people are like, well, and I know my sister she's way into this. You know, the hand sanitizers, you know, the shots and masks. Hand sanitizers have toxic chemicals. They're called benzene, toluene, and styrene. Vaccines, there's a lot of harmful toxins, metals, formaldehyde, mercury, still in shots. And then masks. Masks are made out of toxic fabrics, BPA, flame retardants. And what's interesting is, I was telling my sister this because she wants to have everybody go to her house to wear a mask. And I'm like, okay, those are your rules, but our mother's living there, so other people want to visit her and don't have a choice because they have to, you know, go to her house. And I just told her, I said, do you realize out of the 60 to 70 trillion cells in your body, you're only 43% human? So, I don't pick on Dan tonight, but the cells that make up Dan, he's only 43% Dan.
That's why my wife says I'm not here.
Exactly. Right? But what's the other 53%? All cells that aren't Dan, so those are viruses and bacteria. So I told my sister, I'm like, if you really want to be effective, you can't just wear a mask, you gotta have a full hazmat suit. But that's where it's like, you know, you're 53% other, you know, like they're just along for the ride. So germs are everywhere. You can't get away from them. The best thing that you can do is have a better defense, right? Go on offense and, you know, shots and masks and hand sanitizers, that's not going to help you when it comes to your overall health. Questions? Comments?
Amen.
When you asked where the chemicals are hidden, and you replied, but I was going to say my grandchildren. I mean, you have all these allergies and they're sick.
Sure.
And you're talking about passing on, but...
Yeah. We are meant to communicate literally, not just verbally, but our bodies are meant to commune with one another. And so, you know, you think of the air duct system, you think of, you know, grandkids, I mean, they're little petri dishes. So there's no way around that. I mean, you could literally dip them in bats of sanitizer. It's not going to help because, again, our bodies are 53% bacteria, fungi, funguses, right? And so, the best thing that you can do is let's get you as strong and as healthy as possible from an immune system standpoint. All right, then we have air pollution, right? It's all around us. So there's air pollution. So what are the detoxification pathways? The liver is the primary detox organ in the body. That transforms toxins into water-soluble compounds. That makes it easier for the body to excrete. You have your kidneys. They filter the blood. They remove the waste products through urine. Sweating through your skin. That's why I'm a big fan of exercise, because it's a great way to detox. It's not just to look better and to feel better. It's also it's a great way to detox our body. The respiratory system. So by breathing, by exhaling and expelling waste through that. So that's a great way to get rid of waste. Your digestive system. Right? And the lymphatic system. This is a great way to filter your blood. Anybody use a mini trampoline? Okay, 1. Okay, 2. All right, definitely increase your mini trampoline usage. It's a great way. It primarily works on your lymphatic system. And what does the lymphatic system do? That actually filters your blood vessels. So it's a great way, and even just a couple minutes a day, just jump on that. And it's that magic that 1 or 2 inches of going against gravity and with gravity, that helps to clean out, flush out your lymphatic system. Yes?
Comparing the trampoline to your vibe plates, just comment on it.
That's another great way. I was actually going to talk about that, but that is
Sorry.
Vibe plates are great for the lymphatic system as well. So absolutely, yeah. You know,
Not a replacement.
Not a replacement. I think it just it's definitely there's some different motion involved, but the Vibe plate is great to help with your lymphatic system. Getting a massage, that's a great way to help detox you, right? I don't know, Christy, I'll put you on the spot. Yeah. What do you think about that? Detox through massage. Benefits? Is that helpful? Flush everything out. Any feedback with people over the years that have noticed that? Like, oh, hey, it really helped.
Yes, they generally sleep better.
Sleep better?
If they don't drink enough water after, they can be physically ill
Yeah.
from everything that's being released.
Yeah. Right? You heard it right from Christy. Awesome. All right. The high toxic load is the root of all chronic disease. Right? Didn't say it's the cause of it, but it's definitely a root of chronic disease. And the problem is most people don't think about toxicity. But I know this crowd is different. All right. Top 7. The top 7 toxins that weaken your immune system. You have glyphosate, right? That is an herbicide that's used to kill weeds. That's in a lot of wheat. It's actually injected into the wheat kernel. Like, then we don't have to spray it. Let's just inject it right into the wheat kernel, right? So it's not that wheat is bad. It's just what we've done to wheat, right? Everybody gives wheat a bad name. You actually go over, and I've had people that have had major issues, and they go to France, and they eat bread every day, and they're like, I didn't have any problem. And as soon as I came back home, I started to eat wheat again, and instantly I started to have gut problems. And so what we're doing to our wheat is a crime, right? Mold and mycotoxins. So mold is actually a neurotoxin, which just like it sounds, it is toxic to your nervous system. Phthalates, they're chemicals commonly used in plastics. Heavy metals, like mercury, lead, they can be toxic to humans even at low levels. Organophosphates, they're insecticides, herbicides, nerve agents. Xylene is a flammable liquid that's used to dissolve substances. And then microbial endotoxins, that leads to fever, inflammation, and septic shock. So these are toxins that definitely weaken your immune system. You want to stay away from them.
Comment?
Yeah.
For the mold, something
Yeah.
many people do not know is ultraviolet light, these lights that you can do, can clean and kill the mold in your home.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need chemicals, you can use light. Ultraviolet light.
Yeah. And if that doesn't do it, you want to cut it out. You want to get it out of your home. Yeah. Depends on how bad it is or how, yeah. But that's where, if you have any questions, if you think about mold, there are some specialists that you want to take a look at that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. All right, so this is the toxic bucket theory. Basically what happens is that if you think about our cells, and I didn't say eliminate toxins, it's always about minimizing. How can you minimize the toxins in your life? And so, you know, obviously, it's you know, we're going to have some toxins. You know, we live in this toxic soup, but the problem is what happens is it's, you know, it becomes like if each one of your cells is a bucket and those buckets start to you know, fill up and actually overflow, that's where you end up having problems. And on top of that, you know, chronic stress, processed foods, you know, overuse of antibiotics. And you may say, well, I don't use antibiotics. Well, if you eat traditional meat, you do, because that's where the vast majority of antibiotics are actually used on cattle, beef, on chicken. So you really want to minimize that, when it comes to the use of antibiotics with just the meat in the grocery stores. Know your source. All right. So all this kind of adds up to causing your bucket to overflow. We have a 3-minute video here.
Did you press it again?
I did press it again.
There we go.
Oh.
Yes. Ready in the house. All right. Have you did the cardboard diet?
Honestly, you really touched.
Yes. Ready in the house. All right. Have you did the cardboard diet?
Honestly, you really touched my heart.
Have you heard of the toxic bucket theory? So we're all born with a different size bucket of toxins that we can handle. And this is where genetics come in. So some humans have these huge genetically big buckets, and they can take so many toxins and they'll never have a symptom. And some humans have a very, very small bucket, and your genetics determines your size of your bucket. Then you inherit the toxic load from mostly mom. It comes through the matriarchal line. So, because in the womb, all of her toxins went into you. And when she was in your grandma's womb, all the toxins went into her. So we start to see a pattern of toxins that get dumped into the human that you are. Then you come into the world and you accumulate your own. So the part of your story of where the breast implants really kicked in that I see is between that and some emotional stressors, your bucket tipped. And when your bucket got so high and it started to tip, then nothing's going to work. I don't care what parasite cleanse you throw at it. I don't care how many fasts you do. The goal is that we've got to empty the bucket. And you did a great job taking the breast implants out because you stopped the barrage of toxins coming in.
Totally.
Now the work is emptying the bucket.
Exactly. I kind of knew that would come too. But at least my body will respond. And that's the thing,
Yes.
is that even getting some blood work done 13 days after surgery, finally, there was changes within my blood work. And so, thyroid came up just into normal range for the first time. And so I was like, okay, cool. Some stuff's going to kind of heal itself, but there's going to definitely be some stuff that I'm probably going to have to do some work for. And I might be doing the same work I did before, but at least it's going to make a difference now.
So smart. It's so smart. Yeah, that's exactly right. And then the other part of the breast explant that I think you and I have talked about is that when you remove the source, now you got to go and have opened up the pathways, the detox pathways, to let all of that out. I mean, I love, the body is built, I love what you said about the body is built to live to 120. We're not meant to be sick at 40. So when we are sick at 40, there's an evolutionary mismatch. We are living in the most toxic time in human history, physically, mentally, chemically. So we've got to now go back to the true essence of your body, and then, at 100, you'll be dancing on tables and remembering every story.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks to you, and thanks to, just science moving along and more information. I mean, look, there's a lot of things that technology is maybe not the best for. There are things that it's great for. And it's about having discernment of when to use technology and when to not.
Awesome. So that was Dr. Mindy Pelz. So she's a max living chiropractor out in California, and I don't know if you recognize the lady, is Danica Patrick. All right, so what's in a glass of tap water? All right, arsenic, radioactive contaminants, pesticides, nitrates, hormones, fluoride, calcium, hexavalent, chromium, lead, pharmaceutical drugs. Yes, pharmaceutical drugs. They've actually been tested and in every body of water. That's why today is National Clean Out Your Medicine Cabinet Day. Talked to the local county sheriff. He said the number one problem is actually prescription medication. From a standpoint that people get prescription medications, they don't use them all, or they put them in their medicine cabinet or in a cupboard or whatever, and then people come in and break in and steal it, or and basically kind of use it as part of the drug traffic, and it gets recycled that way. And so one of the things that we're doing here locally, and pretty much every county has basically ways to deal with it. I know in this county what happens is we take it to the basement of City Hall, and there's
That's a little trap door that you put all the meds in.
exactly a little trap door, and they actually what do they do with them? They actually take them to Chicago and burn them, so they incinerate.
I didn't know
them.
what they did with them.
Yeah, so that's what they do here locally in the Midwest. That's where it all ends up, and of course then it ends up in the air. So it's not just in the water, but you got it in the air, right? So pharmaceutical drugs, aluminum, and then I'll just go with the definition: THMs. Right, so just a bunch of chemicals. If you don't filter your water, you are the filter, right? So, and then all these chemicals actually affect the brain. Why do they affect the brain? Because what happens is chemicals are stored in fat. Where's the largest fat deposit? It's actually not in your hips or in your gut, it's actually in the brain. 60 to 70% of your nervous system is fat. So that's why it can really mess with your brain. So very, very important. And so that's one way to deal with this practically is infrared sauna. It's going to push those toxins, including heavy metals, out through your body, out through your skin. So big fan of infrared sauna. All right, so the process and detoxification when it comes to chemicals, basically the primary is the liver, but you also have your lung, you have your skin, you have your gut, okay? And so they can kind of they can enter through, but also exit through all those different areas. So it's really crucial that you care for that, and we'll kind of talk about practically how to do that. It's not just a simple process. Obviously, just like the doctor said, you want to eliminate the source, right? If you can, because you can do all these different cleanses and saunas, and if you're just keep getting bombarded by different things, so you want to try to get to the source first and foremost. All right. So making sure that you're keeping your cells healthy. So you're reducing your exposure to toxins. You have a regular exercise routine. Do the things that you can, do. Get regular chiropractic care. Have a healthy mindset. And you're also fueling those cells back up with good things. So any comments on the smoothie? I know it didn't look good, but how did it taste?
It was good.
Yeah, right? And it was all great things to help to detox you and to help you in that regard. All right? So you're going to empower your body to combat that. So a lot of people are exposed to the same chemicals, but some get cancer and some don't. Right? Some get mold toxicity. About 1 in 4 have a big problem with mold, but the other 3 in 4 don't. Right? So why is that? Why do some people get cancer? Why do some people have, issues with that? We'll be talking about that, right? So one of the things that you can do is you want to minimize, minimize and detox toxins with the 5 essentials. All right, so there's chemicals within our food. Approximately, we're bombarded by 10,000 chemicals. We come into contact with them daily from the moment we get up, while we're sleeping, to when we get up and throughout our day, and by the time we lay our head back on the pillow. So we are bombarded with chemicals. All right. There is this concept called toxic bioaccumulation. which basically means the higher up the food chain, the more toxic, right? So if we're at the top of the food chain, we're the most toxic, right? But when it comes to, like, if you have choices to make, if you're going out to eat, you know, better off to choose more of the salad, better off to choose something, if you don't know the source, to go with something less toxic, right? Because the meat, and that's why it's important if you're going to do organic, if you're going to go paleo, if you're going to go caveman, if you're going to do different things like that, you want to make sure that you have a good quality meat. All right. The top 5 most toxic foods, right? So we have fried foods, packaged foods, right? GMO foods, artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, right? When it comes to artificial sweeteners, you want to stay away from aspartame, especially in the soft drinks, diet foods, and gum. There was a study done of 102,000 people, so not a small study at all. And what they found out was aspartame caused cancer, headaches, and digestive issues. Now it's not just artificial sweeteners, just sugar alone. We've gone from 100 years ago, the average intake was 20 teaspoons of sugar a year, and now we're over 150 pounds of sugar a year. Right? Because of all these chemicals, we kind of forget about sugar. Of course, in the meats you eat, there is nitrates in processed meat, which has been linked to increased cancer. The colors, the artificial colors. There was a study done in April of 2021. With consumption of synthetic food dyes, it caused hyperactivity and neurobehavior issues in children. All right? And then we have the refined oils, you know, the stuff that's in chips and pretzels and fried foods and cookies, that causes an increase in heart disease and cancer. Right? So you want to stay away from these, especially these toxic foods. Now, I need a volunteer. Who would make a good volunteer? I think Dr. Joel, since he came all this way, I think we should have Dr. Joel as a volunteer. So everybody give him a hand, come on.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
All you have to do is stand.
Ooh, it's asking a lot.
I know. Okay, so why is, staying away from this stuff, why is this so important? Well, what happens is, we talked about 60 to 70 trillion cells. And if you want to just hold that right there, okay? And so what happens is when you are toxic, and this is just, let's just pretend this is just one big cell, instead of 60 to 70 trillion cells, what happens is those cells the cells can't get rid of the bad stuff because they get blocked up. The channels get blocked up. And so what happens here is, now I got it going on here. Oh, we'll leave a space for you. Okay, so what happens is you have this cell, and the cell is supposed to get rid of toxins, but it's pretty hard to do that when you're all gummed up. And you can't get rid of, that bucket starts to plug up. And so what happens is you can't get rid of the bad stuff, and then you can't get rid of the good stuff, but you're taking all these vitamins, and what happens is it's just one big mess. And the good stuff can't go in, and the bad stuff can't get out. And that's what happens when your cells are toxic, and you're like, well, I'm eating all this good food, but I'm still sick. Or I'm eating all this good stuff, and I'm exercising, but I can't lose the weight. It's because you're toxic.
Call me fat.
I'm not calling you fat.
Just toxic.
That's better.
Exactly, you're toxic, right? Like a lot of Americans are. They're sick. Their bucket is full. It's overflowing, and yeah, you're a mess. So everybody give them a hand.
Hello.
So a while back, they were. You can give them a scissors, you know, and kind of help them out. Oh, she's coming. She's coming.
I thought they were gonna keep going and tie it to the chair.
She would if she could.
Now for a while they talked about banning trans fats and how bad they are, and banning them in food, but they're everywhere. You know, it's in fats like the margarine, fast food, sodas, canola oil, vegetable oil. So what you want to do is you want to do the opposite. You want to focus on whole, unprocessed foods. So that's what you want to focus on. You want to stay away from this and focus on real food. You know, healthy produce, meat, where you know the source, raw nuts and seeds, okay? Raw, unpasteurized milk. So that's what you want to focus in on. So foods that nourish the detoxification system. So foods that nourish, things like berries, anything that berries, strawberry, raspberry, blueberries, blackberries. They neutralize free radicals. They assist the liver in processing and eliminating toxins. So berries are going to be great for you for detox. The vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, right? That helps to produce glutathione. It's the body's most powerful antioxidant. Okay. Also, healthy fish, omega-3 fatty acids. So that's going to help with your liver function. It's going to encourage detox enzymes, turmeric, which is a form of curcumin. This helps with phase 2 detoxification and enzyme production. So this is kind of where you want to focus to help for your body to detox. All right. Rachel's going to come up and talk about our 2 bundles. These are our combat chemical bundle. And if you purchase those tonight, you'll get a 15% off.
Yes, so helping Rachel out. First, we're talking about the detox system. This product is awesome. It's a whole food formula containing powerful probiotics, as well as organ system detoxifiers like chlorella, milk thistle, spirulina, along with intracellular antioxidants to support our body's defense against toxin-related free radicals. It's super gentle and effective. I've never heard anyone say that they've had a large negative side effect. And I've used it myself, and I haven't noticed any bad side effects either. There's cellular protection, safeguards your cell membranes and DNA from free radical toxins, supporting your overall cellular health. And then there's a comprehensive detoxification, which combines cell detox and the body. So it's 2 products, so the cell and the body detox, and it addresses toxins inside and outside of your cells. And it provides a holistic approach to detox while nourishing your body with essential nutrients and antioxidants. It's a great product. Dr. Pete usually suggests people do this in the spring and the fall. It's kind of like a spring cleaning for our bodies. It's super gentle, super great. You just take the cellular detox a half hour in the morning before you eat any food, let it get going in your system, and then you can go about your day. We usually suggest you take your vitamins midday, and then an hour before bedtime you take the body detox, and that pulls everything that the cellular detox has grabbed throughout the day, and then it helps you eliminate it. So, super great, powerful product, and we highly recommend.
Repair. So that's like it's a supplement that's basically redefining antioxidant support, which means that it helps to scavenge the free radicals from the body cells, and it prevents or reduces the damage caused by oxidation. So it has, inside of it, in each capsule, it has a lot of regenerative organic ingredients, but it's also packed with those antioxidants. The main reasons you should take it is because it protects against those free radicals, it supports a healthy liver, it reduces oxidative damage, promotes healthy inflammation, and it boosts your overall immune function. So basically, cell repair, it's like your ultimate defense against oxidative stress, while supporting detoxification and boosting your antioxidant capacity for optimal health. And who doesn't want to be optimally healthy? So there's no better way to repair and support your cells than with cell repair.
Awesome. Give these ladies a hand. So this is where, like I said, you get 15% off, 10%. Help me out again.
10% off one item, 15% off two or more.
There you go. 10% off one item if you purchase it tonight, and 15% off two or more. I'm a big fan of both, but especially I've been doing the daily detox, or the detox system. They actually used to call it daily detox. So I like to do that twice a year, kind of like a spring and fall. And it's a 1 month system. It's 2 products in one. Like Allison said, one pulls them out of your cells, and then the evening one actually pulls it out of your body. So that's how that works. Very effective. It's been proven. We've done a lot of blood and urine samples over the years to, yes, it actually does what it says it. So there's a lot of research behind it. And that's why I love it, is knowing that it's not just me taking this. There's 200, 300, 400 offices that are actually doing the same thing. So they stand behind that. All right, so one source is the household, the toxic household cleaners. And what happens is this will disrupt not just disrupt your hormones, but also cause cancer. So you want to stay away from toxic household cleaners. So start making some replacements with those. But you may be asking, well, how do I do that? I'm glad you asked. That's a great question. And so what happens, if you want to take a picture of this with your phone, this would, and if you don't have this, we can send this to you as a link. But if you want some ideas as far as some healthy cosmetics, healthy cleaners that don't affect your hormones, that don't cause cancer, you can check those out. Yeah, and what happens is with this EWG, this environmental working group, this is the same resources where you get your Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. Does anybody use that? Oh, good, love it. Absolutely love it. Dirty Dozen, Clean 15. Every year they send spies all throughout the United States, and they take a look at what fruits and vegetables have the most pesticides. And they come up with the Dirty Dozen Clean 15 list. So you don't have to buy everything organic, but you really, especially looking at the Dirty Dozen, that's what you want to buy, organic. And the Clean 15, you don't have to, because they're the cleanest. All right. Exercise does an amazing thing. It releases toxins. Now we could just talk about it, or we could demonstrate it. So we're going to do just a short version of, so everybody stand up. We're actually going to do 3 things. So we're going to do 20 seconds of push-ups. So if you can't do a push-up, grab a wall and do some wall. Just grab a space, right?
Just like we do in home.
Right? And if you can, so we've got plenty of space here. So we're going to do 20 seconds of push-ups. Does somebody have a timer?
Yeah.
Okay. So someone got music, someone got a timer. So we're going to do 20 seconds of push-ups. Then we're going to do marching. And if you, so either, so like an extended, like marching in place. And then we're going to do basketball squats, 20 seconds of basketball squats. All right, so we're going to do this 3 times. So it's only 3 minutes. That's it. 20 seconds each. So we're going to do that 3 times. And we'll actually give you a rest in between. Okay? So 20 seconds of push-ups. All right, whatever push-ups you can do. Ready?
And go.
All right, go. 20 seconds. Now if you're tired out, go on your knees.
Five seconds left.
Thank you.
And 20.
Okay, now everybody march in place. So opposites. All right? Get those, stretch those arms, stretch those legs.
5 seconds.
5 seconds, come on, you can do it. All right, and now basketball squats. So you pick up the basketball, and if you can't jump, just do whatever you can. So maybe grab the basketball at your waist, and do this, whatever you can do. Come on, let's see it. How many points are you going to make?
I've always been bad at basketball.
Come on, you can do it.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. How many more baskets are you
You
going to make?
can do anything for 5 seconds. And time.
All right. We now have, I'll give you 30 seconds to rest. That's 1 round, 1 minute. Slow your breathing down. Think positive thoughts. You can do this. We're going to go right back to push-ups. Are we ready, timer?
Oh yeah. Waiting on you.
30 seconds. Okay. Push-ups. Let's go. 20 seconds of push-ups.
You're not doing the platform.
5 seconds. You said 30 seconds.
Oh. Uh-oh. 20 seconds. All right. Go right to your...
10 seconds. Time.
20 seconds. Get those arms up. Get the legs up.
Yeah, right?
5 seconds. Stretch out those legs. Stretch out those arms. Okay. And basketball squats.
Jump.
20 seconds. You're doing great, Hayden.
5 seconds.
All right. 30 seconds of rest. feeling those toxins leaving your body, right?
You know you're working out.
All right, guys, this is the last round. Everybody ready?
Best for last.
Best for last. Let's do it. 20 seconds, push-ups. All right, we got this. We can do this.
You say 40 seconds?
No!
There you go.
That was for you.
5 left. And
All right, let's stretch it out. Are you feeling those toxins just leaving your body? All right, last one. Let's see how many baskets you can make. Come on, Judy, you're doing great. You got this. Oh, that was all net. All right.
I couldn't make carrots when I did that. You did it.
Whew. So that was 3 minutes of exercise. How did we all do?
How'd you do? You feel good?
Beth?
Good.
Good.
Felt good.
All right. Exercise, it's a great way to get rid of toxins.
Sit down here, listen to Judy. There you go.
All right.
Your turn.
Find your routine. Find your routine. So for this one, I'm going to bring up my lovely wife, Lisa. And she's going to talk about routine. She's going to talk about your morning routine and how important it is and what she's learned. Because she has learned so much. And so she's going to teach you all. And of course, I didn't warn her at all. So this is Lisa.
Hello.
Hey, babe, take it away.
I mean, I think I had struggled with a routine for a long time, a morning routine. We
I
had
think you
lots
have to
of
stand. I
kids.
think you have to stand here.
We had lots of kids, you know, babies, kids getting up, and Peter's always up late at night. So that would make us get up later in the morning, but then kids always wake up early, so I never had like quiet time. But probably the last couple, 4 years, or for sure, I've had a pretty good morning routine, and I'm just even defining it pretty close in right now. So you have to go to bed early, right? But whatever. So there's a 1 hour routine that I try to do in the morning. It's a 20-20-20 rule. So the first 20 minutes is moving your body, kind of trying to sweat, and it lowers cortisol, and you're also like, you know, drinking the water and stuff. So that's the first 20 minutes. The next 20 minutes is like my Bible time, quiet time, and prayer, which I can just go sit on the Bible plate and set the timer on there. And that, you know, is like a 5 minutes, so that's my, so I'll sit there and pray for 5 minutes, set the timer for another, and I'll stand and do my stretching on the Bible plate. And then kind of visualize and get my mind right for the day, you know, like kind of creating the positive thoughts that God wants us to have, because we all have a lot to be thankful for, but we just have to actually take the time to make sure we're being thankful for those things. And then the next 20 minutes is you know, inputting into my life. So reading something, right now I write my 10 goals, 10 goals down, and then kind of figure out my day and the plan. And that's been working really well. And I feel like I'm like moving forward, you know, like how we can kind of get stuck in our own thoughts or minds and can't always get all the important things done. Like I've always known with babies I needed to do 2 things. What are the 2 most important things? And that was usually exercising and having my quiet time. And Peter was always good at reminding me in the crazy, busy homeschooling days when kids are younger, you know, I might not have taken a shower, the house is a mess, I didn't feel like I got A, B, and C done. He's like, babe, you got the most important things. You took care of those 2 things, and then you served and, you know, gave back to the kids and to him. So, I mean, now I'm able to kind of define it a little bit more, and I think that's been working.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
So.
Awesome. Give her a hand. So one of the things I want you to try is I want you to brush your teeth. Everybody brushes their teeth? Good. So brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Just try it. Okay? So if you're right-handed, go with your left. Okay? Just try this. But there's a lot that happens with your brain when you do that. And so I want you to just very simply, you know, and yes, if you think about it, 20 makes sense, right? Like 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes, you know, kind of, you know, all that stuff. You did a great job with that. What I want you to do is, if that's too overwhelming for you, I just want to try. I want you to try brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand, and then I want you to say, I love you when you're looking in the mirror. I love you, I love you, I love you. 3 times. So I want you to, that's your homework. Okay? Those 2 things. Okay?
While our toothbrush is in our mouth.
After you're done brushing your teeth.
Okay.
Okay? Awesome.
Remember, Dr. B, you'll never love anyone more than you love yourself.
That's right. All right. Now, we can't talk about detox without talking about detoxing your mind, right? And, you know, the average teen today has more anxiety than the psych ward patient in the 1960s, right? The average family schedule would cause a mental breakdown compared to the individuals in the 1950s. Right? And when you take a look at our attention span, the human attention span is now 8 seconds. They've done studies on this. A goldfish has an attention span of 9 seconds. So, and look how small their brain is. So we obviously, you know, when you take a look at tweets and Facebook posts, Instagram, Snapchat, you know, it's so short, most people don't even want to open an email that has a paragraph. It's like, oh, I can't take time to read this. So things are getting, you know, just so short. And I just remember growing up and the phrase that I heard that I needed to detox from, and it took me years to get over this, was, you're a no good, good for nothing kid. So I know if that happened to me, I'm sure some of you had that growing up, or somebody said something to you. We can all remember those wounds, right, that happened in, whether at home or at school. You know, some of the things that happened in high school, right? Something hurtful that was said, whether it was, you know, another kid or, like I said, a parent. And so we need to detox from that. And so one of the things you may want to think about is taking a fast from Facebook. You know, taking a digital fast. One of the things that we've done over the years that works really well is our media-free May. And I love it just because it's like, you know, it's like, oh, we want to get outside anyways and start to use this, but It's been a challenge at times, but it's been, you play more games, you read more books, you go to the library, because it's like, okay, we're taking a digital fast, right, for a month. So I would just encourage you, if you want to try something, do something like that. You know, family game nights, just unplugging your phone. Get outside, date nights, and things like that. All right. Well, also when we talk about detox, health is 100% function. And what happens is your nervous system controls everything. And I know I'm talking to the choir right now, but taking great care of your nervous system, you can never go wrong. You've heard me say it, I'll say it again. You take great care of your nervous system, you take great care of your spine, it'll take great care of you. You ignore it, and it sucks to be you. So just take great care of the foundation of your body. And so obviously a huge part of that is making sure that you're removing subluxation. Subluxation, if you break it down, sub means less, luxation is divine light. So if you're subluxated, if you're misaligned, if there's pressure on your nervous system, you have less than divine light that's showing through to others. And this is where, it's a lot like, you can think of a circuit breaker, if you've ever, blown a circuit breaker where, you got to go back to the panel and flip the breaker, right, if there's too much stress. There's other ways to think about it. When it comes to subluxation, there's actually what's called the 4 T's, the trauma, thoughts, toxins, and technology. And so I know tonight we focus mostly on the toxin part of it, but there's also, the trauma, your thoughts, and obviously technology. So, when it comes to subluxation, it's been so researched, even medical doctors. There's a famous study done that if you leave a subluxation longer than 2 weeks, you will develop degenerative arthritis. Robert Sperry, he won the Nobel Nobel Prize for his research on brain research, and he said that his quote was 90% of the brain's nutrition is generated by movement of the spine. So I know we just did some movement, I know you all get adjusted, but it's really important, and it ties into the whole detoxification process. So if you're having warning signs, if a loved one's having warning signs, obviously have them come in and talk to me. I still do phone consultations, so if they don't want to come in, sometimes just coming in with you can help ease that, like, oh, okay, hey, what's happening here? To see what we do as chiropractors. So it makes a big difference just seeing that. But if you have any family or friends that have warning signs, definitely have them come in and get checked. So, action steps. As we're wrapping up here, action steps. What are you going to do different?
Morning routine.
Morning routine. How's it going to change? What are you going to do different?
More action in the morning instead of doing it later, closer to bedtime.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome.
I like the 20 seconds. I think I'll add that in my morning stretching.
Right. A lot of people think, oh, I have to go to the gym for an hour, or I have to do something grandiose. No, just a couple of minutes, right? And there's a lot of different exercises that you can do. You can jump rope. You can do all sorts of things. Yeah. Action steps.
Morning affirmations with my workouts.
Morning affirmations with your workouts. I love that.
Self-talk.
Yeah. Right?